All right, Bobby. How would you describe your music to someone who has never heard you before?
It's a really difficult question. I don't know. I don't know really. I guess it's rooted in like folk and blues and uh, songwriters like Dylan and stuff like that. I guess and Leonard Cohen, but I don't know.
Kind of an Americana.
Yeah, there is but the newer stuff less so. I think, in a sense, it's there, but it's not like I don't consider myself an Americana artist. I
Okay.
think you have to be American to. I like a lot of European bands, and it's just I think just production has mainly been more Americana or country, and on the new record I think it's less. We don't use pedal steel, don't use things that sound very American, but definitely influenced by that too. I think, yeah.
All right, great, thank you. All right, so when writing new songs, how do you decide what songs should be recorded?
That's actually really difficult because I'm a really bad judge and I write a lot of stuff. So it's off. I've recently started asking people, which is good, and listening to what people want to hear live is really. It's the noisiest pillow in the world. Listening to the response from the audience and stuff is a really good indicator. But when you get into the studio, you end up, I always record quite a lot, like 15 or 16 songs most of the time. So one or two never quite work, or it never quite happens. So it's often that often helps with the cut once recorded. But before, it's just what feels comfortable, I guess. Really.
Well, kind of the second part to that question is, when promoting a new album, how do you choose what portion of the new songs you want to play live, and what percentage are previously performed songs?
Oh, I see. Well, I was having this conversation the other day with you guys about this, and I really regretted it last night because I didn't really start enjoying myself until I didn't follow the set list and I just played what I wanted to play. Before I was like needlessly forgetting lyrics because I was like, this is the set list, and I felt a little bit pent up by it. But with this new record, I'm able to perform a lot of the songs, or pretty much all of them if I want to, on my own. So I'm going to play all the songs from this record. Last night I didn't play two, but in future I will. I just didn't feel like playing them. But I want to. It's good to promote the new record, and then I always play Dead and Dumb because people ask for it. It's a nice sing-along thing, I guess. And then the rest is really just what I feel like, really. And what people ask for.
Do you feel that that's something that you feel like you're more geared to just play what you feel for that particular day?
Yeah. Also, just gauging what people want. If somebody wants a song, then just because it's not on my set list, I should play it. If somebody wants to, if somebody wants to hear it, I think I should play it. I think I should be able to play it. If you're with a band, it's a different situation. But when I'm on my own, the beauty of it is that you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to hear as an audience member. You don't know what I'm going to say, whether I'm going to tell stories or whether I'm just, sometimes I don't talk the whole set, and that's what keeps people coming back. It's easy to get one person to come to your show, but it's harder to keep a fan base, I think. And I always have new people coming to my shows, but I'm lucky that I've had people who've been coming for 6 or 7 years. So, and I feel like I have as much responsibility to them as the new people by making sure the set is interesting and playing new and old stuff. But I'm definitely going to concentrate more on the new record now.
That's a good record too. So
yeah,
I think it would be a shame not to concentrate on some of the good stuff that you have on there.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so you're approaching 30, and you've been writing songs for more than 10 years. Do you find that songwriting reflects stages of your life?
Yeah, and not in terms of like maturity. I just go through stages of like right now I like writing about. I'm getting a big kick about writing about direct feelings, situations or relationships. While before it was always. It was slightly kind of mystified, or you couldn't quite, what's the song exactly about? It was really left up to people, but now it's like people can tell, like, this is about this, and you know, and I'll talk about it more too. I think I'm just getting a bit more open and happy to open up about stuff. You know, like 70% of the way. But that's what I'm going through right now. But before, I wanted to write about, with Wishbone, I wanted to write about, with Winnie Taylor, I wanted to write about like a moment within a moment, and Wishbone, I wanted to write about this kind of quite big story, and now I want to write about just a feeling, or, you know, actual happening rather than some made-up thing in my head. Yeah.
Aside from your concert window events, many of your fans have never had the opportunity to see or hear you perform live. Would you consider recording a live performance for CD or DVD to capture the true spontaneity of your shows?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to do it like somewhere like McCabe's, somewhere where I was a bit comfortable, and I had enough time where I could maybe do it for 2 hours, and then we could slice out the hour of shite, as I like to call it. You know, and it gives, you know, and that'd be great. I'd love that. And but I would like to incorporate some, you know, maybe some guest musicians and, you know, a varied set. I think would be great. That might be quite cool. But yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the things that we were talking about when we decided to want to ask this question. Was one of the things that we feel as fans is that your shows reflect your personality and your actual ability to play. You get to see a lot broader range from you, as opposed to just, not that the records are not good, because they're amazing, but I think the live performance really captures something special, and that's why it was something that we were curious, and I think other fans are curious about it as well.
Yeah, but I think you're right there, because a record is always a solidified moment of time, or it captures one thing. Where I have like influences that people don't even know about from, you know, like I love real heavy rock. I love it. I love playing it. I'm influenced by it, and I play that stuff at home. I play it with friends, from like Pantera to Sabbath. Like, I love that stuff. Just the same that I love, like, I'm not really affected by it, but I love, you know, classical music. I love jazz. I love Wes Montgomery's a good guitar player, and live I think I'm able to be a bit more freer, and you can at least see snippets. Like yesterday when I did Penance Fire Blues, and I was just like, oh, that wasn't on the set list either, and I was like, I just need to do something that's a bit freeing. And when I was playing it, I was in my head, I was like, what would this guitar player do? I'm just going to pretend I'm somebody else for 5 minutes. And it was really liberating, and I played it a different way with a different style. So, but you're right, you know. And I always want to make a record that's concise and it feels like it captures my moment, you know. Because I intend on making a lot. I love Kiss. So yeah, but you're right. Yeah, live you're able to be a bit more freeing, and I think you can capture. I think you can see more into the eye of the performer, I think.
I would agree. All right. So, which song changed the most from when you started writing it to the final recorded version on the album?
Oh wow. Yeah. Kill Someone, because it wasn't a song. It was just, that was a poem originally. I'm also I'm also writing this. I'm pretty close to finishing the second poetry book, but I put it on hold for a while, but until maybe Christmas time or something. But that was a poem, and then it was this kind of fast-paced thing and it sounded quite similar to, the chords are quite similar to I'm Not Going Out Tonight, and I always get this when I write 2 or 3 songs in a day or over the course of a week. Sometimes they share the same chords, like a major to minor thing, or a certain progression or a picking progression, and it sounded similar to I'm Not Going Out Tonight, but I really liked the lyrics and I thought it was kind of funny, and it was an interesting topic to write about, and it was writing about a personal thing, openly a personal thing that I was frustrated by. So then I decided to kind of do it as a picking thing, and then I wanted it to be really spooky, and I actually weirdly that the song that I wanted to sound like was Feed the Birds by Mary Poppins. I wanted it to be kind of like orchestral, have like violins and eeriness and like London fog all over it, and me kind of maybe do a spoken word thing. And then I realised that was the most pretentious thing in the world and I would hate it. So then we made it into this kind of this bluesy foot tapping thing, which I thought was quite cool.
I still think the song has a pretty dark edge to it.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about I explain about, you know, what it's about being about, you know, this arsehole. And then people laugh about it. And the first line, you know, talking about gingivitis and alopecia or whatever, which is funny. It's a weird thing to write about. And I was really thrilled when I wrote it. You know.
It's a good verse.
It's a great verse.
Yeah.
It's one of the best lines I've ever written, you know. And then it kind of just takes another turn and people are laughing, and after like 30 seconds they're like, oh, this isn't very funny, you know. I don't name reference anything, but I go pretty deep inside of it. So.
I think that was what struck us all last night, was the fact that you started it with talking with your humor and the story, and then once you started playing and you got past that, it really you drew everybody in with the song.
Yeah, that's also, I'm always like, I think it's just the English side of me, or just the way I am, but I don't like talking too seriously about anything ever, really. Especially, I just don't want to be that person, you know. If like when I've gone through really tough times, I always end it with some kind of a joke. I don't ever end it on it, alright, you know, saying goodbye, and I've been chewing somebody's ear off, a friend, and you know, I've been upset or worried about something. I'll always end it with, you know, some kind of joke about the situation. I always try and bring it back, you know, away from, almost from myself a little bit. Because I don't want to appear. I'm well aware that writing songs is a really self-absorbing thing to do, you know. So I don't want to be. I hate those singer-songwriters like, yeah, this is about my parents getting divorced, and I hope you enjoy it. And you're like, wow, great. I won't enjoy it. That sounds awful, you know. But I feel like I need to explain that song at the same time. It's like it's double-edged sword, because if I don't explain it, I think people could walk away and get a completely different thing from it. But I want them to know what it's about, so you get that connection, you know. Yeah.
No, it is really a very strong, powerful song. The two released singles, Ode to Thinking and Not Going Out Tonight, on the album are quite different. Why did you decide on those specific songs?
Well, I think that Ode to Thinking, it's not really a single, but it's the name of the album, so it's going to get some. For me, that was always like the template, the doorway to the album. So I think that the other singles were going to be Treat Me Like a Stranger or The Dark Won't Get Darker or something. But yeah, so Overthinking was just like the gateway, and I thought it was like a nice, like, when I wrote that, it wasn't, I didn't even ever think of it as a song. It was just like what do you call it when you write an essay and the first thing you should ever write is the thesis? Yeah, the explanation of what you're going to be reading, you know, the project or the scientific thing that you're trying to undertake or explain, and that was that. So it was almost like, you know, not comparing it to this, but Sgt. Pepper, the first song is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Sure. And
it's like, I don't even think of that as a song. I love that song, but it's just like its own thing, and that was that idea, really. And but you know, we've done a music video for that, and done a music for I'm Not Going Out Tonight. But I think that, yeah, Treat Me Like a Stranger is going to be another one, maybe. Hopefully there'll be a few, you know, just like Taylor Swift, there'll be 6 or 7.
There you go. All right, so of the 3 studio recording sessions, is there a process or something that you've learned that you brought forward or will bring forward to your next CD?
Yeah, I like working fast, and the first one we worked pretty fast. We recorded live, but you know, I could have worked way faster if it was just me and Liam in there. The second one with Ted, and Ted's an amazing producer, and I love that record. I love Wishbone, and if anything, you know, everybody I talk to now, every reviewer loves that record. It just never did anything, but if anything, I think it's the strongest record in terms of sounds and it's the most complete record I've made in terms of an idea coming to the fore. I think the new record, the songs are better, but with the new record, we worked so fast. Just waking up in the morning, getting in. I played a song, boom, we dressed it, we did it, and we moved on from it. And I always felt like I never got bored, or we never lost sight of what we were doing, and we were able to try stuff out too because we were working so fast. So, but that's also down to doing pre-production, knowing the songs before. But I would definitely I'd like to record with all of those producers again. But I think that I'm going to do the next one with Mark again. I think we can explore some different things, noise-wise and sonically. But the process was really easy because he plays all the instruments. So it was like, and I can play some too. So it's a question of just walking in and being like, cool. Like, what song do you want to do? Great, do it. Boom, boom. An hour and a half later, I'm recording my guitar part, and we wouldn't stop till we that was more the process. We wouldn't stop till we finished it. That was amazing, rather than leaving everything up in the air. That we did in Wishbone, which was great, and the results were amazing. But I think I'd like to do it like that again.
Do you feel that the fast pace that you were working, it captures your, as we talked about earlier, spontaneity more than having it overdone, overproduced?
Yeah, definitely. Also, it just gives me less time to think about it, and it also gave me confidence because every take on the thinking is one first take, maybe second take. A lot of it is just first take, walking in there and being like in the zone of making it. Great, what next? Vocals, walking in, singing it. Great, good with you? Yeah, that's great with me. Harmonies, wonderful. And that was inspiring, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, how I wanted to sing it in that moment. Yeah.
Well, kind of going back a little bit then, little question that we asked. You mentioned last night at your show that you were looking forward to recording Pretty Little Pennies, although you didn't like the final recording version. Why was that?
It just didn't work, and the idea was to do it like a Shirelles or like a like a doo-wop thing. Just couldn't do it, and I would love to have re-recorded it again, like playing it as I do. So I really like that song, but it'd be on the vinyl, so people could hear it. I'm sure people will like it. I just didn't connect with it at all. Only after, when we were doing it, we were like, this is the single, and then after we listened to it, it was like, this is just not. Feels like it doesn't feel like the rest of the record. There's another song on Wishbone called The Eastern Side, which is nuts. It sounds like a car, like a cop show. And that was, at the time, I was like, this is nuts, this is amazing, and afterwards it's just like, this doesn't work, But there's always one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.